లలేష్. లలేష్.
సార్ చెప్పండి.
జాయిన్ అయినాం.
హ్మ్.
ఏంటి ఉషా?
చెప్పాలి సార్.
పొద్దుగా లేపినానా? సార్‌కి ఇదే టైం కుదురుతదంటే ఇక తప్పలేదు.
లేదు ఇదే మంచి టైం సార్. మాకు ఆల్రెడీ తెల్లారిపోయింది కదా.
ఏంది మళ్ళా సౌండ్ వస్తుందా అట్లా?
ఎప్పుడో ఏంటి సార్?
రీసౌండ్ ఏం వస్తలేదు.
నా ల్యాప్టాప్ నుంచి వస్తుంది.
ఓకే. ఇద్దరు మంచిగా కట్ చేసి రిలీజ్ చేయాలి, దీనికి బాగా వస్తాయి వ్యూస్.
ఓకే.
ఇంకేంటి విషయాలు వస్తే సార్ వస్తే చూసినా ఆయన ఎప్పుడన్నా?
చూసిన సార్ చాలా సార్. ఇక్కడ మెయిన్ ఛానల్స్ లో కూడా చేసినాం ఇంటర్వ్యూ.
చేసిండ్రా? మనకు బాగానే క్వశ్చన్స్, జనాలు అందరు బాగానే ఉన్నారు ఈయన గురించి.
అవునవును, ఫేమస్ పర్సన్. ఆయనకి అవార్డు కూడా వచ్చినట్టున్నారు.
పద్మశ్రీ.
పద్మశ్రీ అంటే పెద్దదే కదా. ఇంకొక 1 అవర్ అయితే మీకు అక్కడ ఏ టైం సార్?
ఇప్పుడు 8:19 అవుతుంది.
అంటే ఎర్లీ మార్నింగ్ 9కు మీకు అక్కడ వ్యూస్ ఉండదు కదా?
ఎర్లీ మార్నింగ్ 9 o'clock ఉండదు.
మీకు నైట్ PM ఉంటారు కదా, మాకు ఇది 7కి ఉంటారు. ఇంతకుముందు ఈ టైంలో డిబేట్ చేస్తుంది ఛానల్లో బాగా నచ్చు. ఇక్కడ ఎర్లీ మార్నింగ్ 7కు చూస్తారు. మీరు 9కి కూడా డిబేట్ చూసేవాళ్ళు కదా.
ఓకే, 9కి చూస్తారు అంటే కొద్దిగా ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఉంటే చూస్తారబ్బా. ఇప్పుడు ఎవ్రీవన్ వాంట్స్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఉంటే చూస్తారు. పెట్టినా 9 minutes ఉంది. కాల్ చేస్తా. మను 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 Puram. Yeah. I think. Good morning, Kadar.
Namaste.
Namaste. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
When do you wake
Go
up?
ahead.
In the morning?
Yeah, I got up
4 o'clock every day or
4:30. 4:45.
So Lalesh, we are already 8:30. So are you ready?
Yes, sir. 30 seconds.
Okay. Sir, just introduction. Most of the people reacted with a lot of questions. So how many possible we will answer today their question?
Yeah, you could start with whatever way you like.
You in a short 2 paras, and then I will let you introduce more, and then we'll go. Okay, now Lalesh, ready?
Am I visible? Okay,
yes,
clear.
Perfect. ఏమంటున్నావు Lalesh? Okay. Yeah.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome to TV5 and Manna TV. You are watching Insight with Praveen Puram directly from Atlanta with Dr. Kadarwali. Good morning, sir. How are you today?
Namaskar.
So there is no need of any introduction for Dr. Kadarwali. You all know how famous he is and how what a service he does in the community. So I will quickly introduce Dr. Kadarwali garu. Dr. Kadarwali is a renowned independent scientist and nutrition expert who has dedicated his career to researching the health benefits of millets. He was born in Andhra Pradesh in 1957 and completed his education in agricultural science and plant breeding at Andhra Pradesh Agricultural University. Over the course of his career, he has conducted extensive research to the nutrition properties of millets and their potential to improve health outcomes for people across the globe. He has worked to promote the use of millets in sustainable agriculture and to raise awareness about their benefits among consumers and policymakers alike. Dr. Kadarwali is the founder of Deccan Development Society, non-governmental organization based in Telangana. He works to promote sustainable agriculture and improve the livelihoods of rural communities. He has also served as a consultant to various government agencies and international organizations, including the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. He has received numerous awards and accolades for his contribution to science and nutrition, including the prestigious Padma Shri Award from the Government of India in 2019. He continues to be an active researcher, educator, and advocate for sustainable agriculture and healthy eating practices. Again, welcome, sir. Thank you so much for your time this morning. I wanted to ask you what inspired you to research millets and their health benefits, and what have you learned from your work?
I have not learnt anything. The problem is centralization of food by the corporate companies has led to the human race ill health. Let me put it that way. So every human being on this planet has a right to be healthy.
Absolutely.
And the sad story of human race in the last 100 years is that we have been adopting the westernized sorry to use these words, but then I have no choice. This is what has happened in the history. Central control is the word that I am looking for. They are trying to control the food because that is the most used produce on this planet by each and every human being. So that's where the rights of the people are taken away, including the rights of the farmers of their seeds. That from time immemorial, the farmers had rights over the seeds, and now the corporatization of food in the name of patenting, in the name of intellectual properties, by tinkering a little bit of knowledge, either genetic modification or hybrid varieties and this and that, happened after the World War II, Second World War II, which took away the rights of the seeds of the farmers of all over the world.
Okay.
Of course, it began in Europe and America, and it just took over all over the world. And sadly, the most unscientific thing that has happened over the period of 80, 90 years is that all over the world, people are eating the same food. You sitting there in Atlanta, I sitting here in a village of Andhra Pradesh or Karnataka are eating the same rice and wheat.
Absolutely.
Which should strike a bell to anyone who has little knowledge about science. So depending upon the weather conditions and the place that you live in, God gives different varieties of food materials. And this is the nature of things. And sadly, no scientist has questioned this till today. And till today, we have not questioned this, that why are we all eating the same food? Of course, ultimately, the biology and physiology of our human body takes care of things, but then we are born to eat different things. And even today, every human gut requires various kinds of things. You don't get nutrition from one thing. Absolutely. And so how on earth this centralized corporate food culture and the science in between these words has been sabotaged by this business. And so presently, there is no science in what we are doing. Then how can we eat rice, which actually produces glucose in a matter of 15 to 20 minutes into our bloodstream, and which is the reason for disturbing the homeostasis of the blood. And homeostasis is the foundation of all healthy conditions. Mm-hmm. That means there has to be balance of everything, and that's how the blood maintains homeostasis, and it will be pumped by the heart to various parts of the cells, our organs, gives nutrition, collects the toxic morbid waste and eliminates the morbid waste so that we are healthy. And this is, in short, the way a living thing becomes healthy. So everything is included in it. It's not that you have nutrition, it's not that you have blood, it is not that you have organs that digest, which supply the blood with glucose and nutrients. So it's all, everything is together. So there is no one thing giving all the nutrition to you. So now we have managed, for whatever reasons, we eat rice, wheat, sugar, milk, and meat.
Yes.
And nothing else. And when I say meat, it could be any meat, but the constitution and the nutrients they can provide are very limited. Mm-hmm. When I say rice, whatever it does, it is limited. When I say milk, it is limited. But then we are limiting to these 5-6 materials. and expect us to be healthy. And sadly, the last 50 years has seen the choosing of food materials that are based on the understanding that we need macronutrients and forgotten about micronutrients completely, actually. And in the name of supplements, they are trying to provide the micronutrients and other required things, which they have conveniently made into business.
Absolutely.
But you see the whole story that is taking place. So everything slowly and steadily shifted to a business model rather than a scientific model. A scientific model would have been an ecology based and then completely encompassing the holistic supply of nutrients as well as the materials that are required to keep our body clean on a daily basis. So as a scientist, it looked very silly on my part not to think of keeping the body clean on a daily basis and only provide the so-called nutrients in the form of supplements, in the form of whatever protein. So you make some animal and then say, this is the protein you need, this much is the protein you need. And there is a centralized body in the name of WHO deciding you eat this much, you eat this much. See, these are the unscientific things that have happened, and it's been forced, or whatever word you want to use. Now we are in a state of condition that everyone thinks that you have to have this much protein, this much carbohydrate, this much. So these things are absolutely unscientific, because depending upon the place where you are born, what you do, what is available, and what your body receives, the temperature, and all these factors make various complicated stuff. And most importantly, we have forgotten about how to keep our cells, organelles, organs, and the whole body clean, to remove the toxic morbid waste which is going to be generated even if you eat the best of the best foods in the world. For example, carbon dioxide is a toxic morbid waste that each and every cell produces as you get energy, ATP, by burning glucose. Mm-hmm. That is the ultimate reaction that we are making to live. If you do not burn glucose to make carbon dioxide and energy, you cannot live. So carbon dioxide is the toxic morbid waste which has to be eliminated immediately from your cells. If not, you will die. The same way, many intermediate steps, that is called electron motive force. So when you burn, carbon dioxide is coming, that is the end product. In between the tumbling of electrons from higher level to lower level, while we collect energy into biological energy, ATP, it is called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. We produce electron motive force in the form of negative energy, which then transmutates into free radicals, which then seek oxygen or nitrogen and start disturbing our organelles. Then organ destruction takes place. Then dysfunction happens, and then the disease manifests. So if you do not have the mechanism to take this energy, free radicals, the diseased organelles, you do not prevent disease. So you are getting energy, ATP, but you are getting carbon dioxide, and all these damaging activities are happening. Mm-hmm. So God has given a provision in our food itself to clean this, and that is fiber. So we have eliminated fiber totally from our food in the last 50, 60 years. And then we, as scientists, the present day scientists, think we will provide it through supplements. say antioxidants, some tablet, some salts, calcium tablet, this and that. So this intervention artificially is creating more imbalance in the bloodstream. You see the mistakes we have been doing in the last 50 to 100 years in the name of science. So this baffled me when I first came to America in 1987 and watched a girl menstruating at the age of 6.
Oh my God.
First time in 1986 or 87. So that baffled me. What is this we are doing? This is so-called advanced country, and here is a girl who is menstruating at the age of 6, supposed to be naturally happening at the age of 14 or 15 throughout the history of human race. So in the name of advanced science and scientific methods, we have screwed up something naturally and figured out that that's the milk, which is the reason that we have produced artificially in the name of genetic modification, saying white revolution. So we have disturbed the hormone balance of that particular girl, and then found that all over America, women were actually menstruating or by then itself age of 9 or 10. That means we have reduced the average age of women menstruating from 14, 15 to 9.
Almost
And
5
sadly
years.
now, the same thing is happening all over the world, because this economic model of thinking that milk is good for you, we have disturbed the hormone imbalance of all over the world. So we have created so many gynecological problems for women. And parallelly, we have created problems for men, hormone imbalance, the testosterone balance has been screwed up, and a lot of 90% of men do not have now sperm count in the right balance. Absolutely zero growth. There are no Italians born. Germany, same thing is happening. Almost all over Europe, the same story goes on. So that means the hormone imbalance can then lead to various other diseases. See, the glucose imbalance we created by choosing rice, wheat, milk, sugar, creating hell a lot of diseases, and hormone imbalance creating another hell a lot of diseases. This is all, mind you, in the name of science. Oh, you need carbohydrate, you need supplements. We are doing all this, saying that this is what is required. And why? We are translating into business. And this is what has happened in the last 100 years, and centralizing the rights of the production, because the technology now became the focus, and patenting, culture, all that being put into the practice. So now science means patenting, science means taking away the rights of the local farmers. So now I have the seed which is manipulated. You need to take this only, because this is, according to science or FDA or WHO, is better. What was there in nature is no value for you. So the natural farmers became out of focus.
Absolutely.
And then they said, you need to irrigate to grow a lot more food for food security. Rice and wheat became the center stage. And rice and wheat are actually C3 grasses, which are very rarely found with a lot of restricted environmental conditions. You need water, you need very narrow range of temperature. And then so we are here producing lot more quantities because of our intervention, genetic modification. I have a seed which produces 30 quintals per acre, so-called wheat varieties we have produced. Now we are supposed to eat that, not the original wheat. Forget about whether wheat is good or bad. But the original wheat itself is eliminated.
Absolutely.
And our guts are made for various diversified food materials. Though ultimately we have to produce glucose and then live on it. And it has to be balanced release of glucose into your. So this is basic science which is contrived manipulated for this corporate food scientists to make products. And this is what became very obvious to me when I came to America. Though this was not this crystal clear while I was doing PhD back in Indian Institute of Science on steroids. There has been little mistake. You have given my introduction little wrong. Someone else's mistakenly given. So I did PhD in Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and on steroids, on hormones, and then came to America, worked on lignin, toxic materials, and then worked in agriculture department and food department in Indian in food technology, and DuPont in agriculture department, various departments, worked with FDA related issues and genetic engineering and all that kind of things. So since then, I tried to work in organizations, but then my thought process has been so diabolically opposite. I had to come out of these organizations and declare myself as independent scientist, because I wanted to establish the local foods being encapsulating everything that we require. And so hence the search for the real food began in 1997. So I went back to India and came back to India in 1997 and started working independently. So I took a barren land and then made it a jungle and then started growing the food in its true sense. How was it grown in nature without any intervention? So we grew more than 40 varieties of food materials when it rains. So according to me, irrigation in itself is a unnatural process to grow your food, because all over the world, the food has to be grown. According to me, nature is kitchen for every living thing on this planet. So these are the basic axioms on which my work started. So anyone can grow food anywhere because it is the right for every living thing to have food, and God has given that. But then we have slowly transformed the food into the hands of these companies, and then saying food security. All these words are irrelevant because food is already secured for every living thing on this planet if you eat the right food. So the real food security comes groups of people growing their food in their place and not transporting, processing, eating. So that possibility has to be there in the natural foods. So once you remove these characteristics, it cannot be food at all, actually. And that's how it became poison for us. So now rice is poison, according to me, because when you eat rice, you are disturbing the homeostasis of the blood. And you start BP because the blood has become thickened with the increased glucose. The heart does not pump properly. You create blood pressure. But then the scientists said it is because you are eating more salt, which is not the case. So all wrong things going around in the name of science. So if you stop eating rice, wheat, and sugar, your BP just vanishes away in a matter of 3 weeks. Just vanishes away because you have uncontrolled release of glucose into your bloodstream, which the body has to do something, because if you have too much glucose, it starts absorbing water from living cells. Mm-hmm. So the cells become dry. So to stop that, the liver, pancreas, spleen, and other endocrine systems transform this extra glucose into glycogen, fat, rheumatic factors, and other cholesterol, triglycerides, because they know how to do that. Thinking that glucose should be reduced, they do all these transformations. And they become more in the blood, another imbalance sets in. So you have high cholesterol, high triglycerides, and then they result in different damages of the parts. So these guys started naming each one disease, another disease, this. But actually, the disease is the rice that you are eating. That's what is creating all these transmutated diseases. So the simple way is stop eating rice, all these diseases disappear. The glucose imbalance created all these diseases. So now what do we eat then? Eat something that releases glucose slowly and steadily. So I did experiments. So what were the humans eating before this rice and wheat came to our forefront? Lo and behold, there are more than 200 grains that human beings were eating all over the planet. And they belong to different grass group called C4 grasses, where God has made arrangement to have the carbohydrate along with fiber. So I choose 5 grains which are enriched with a lot more fiber, which helps to suck all the toxic morbid waste and makes it easy and necessitates and facilitates the release of toxic morbid waste out of our body. So the definition of food has been fulfilled now, that we can get carbohydrate which doesn't disturb homeostasis of the blood and releases glucose slowly and steadily and removes all the toxic morbid waste, because there is fiber which is soluble and insoluble in the grain itself. When we eat this food, we are providing cleaning up of the body. And lo and behold, different grains clean different parts of the body. So foxtail millet cleans your nervous system and lungs. Little millet cleans your reproductive system. Kodo millet cleans your blood and bone marrow. Barnyard millet cleans all your soft parts. Brown top millet cleans the digestive system completely from mouth to anus. So the whole body parts are getting cleaned up when you eat these varieties of grains, alternating or changing once in 3 days or 2 days. And there may be many more grains. I did not have time in my lifetime. There may be another 10 more wonderful grains which have this great capacity of giving you the nutrition as well as cleaning you up. So this is the basis of my hypothesis, that we need to search for a material that can do this as a whole. Because you cannot go on eating that, eating this, because so many food items are given for all other living things on this planet. So anything you see is not your food on this planet. So anything is available everywhere should be your, because he has made human race present in Himalayan foot hills as well as in the desert near Rajasthan also. So everyone should get food. So I cannot say I will grow here and then give you. I will make these things and transport you and then expend so much energy in this transportation and create carbon footprint. So in nature, it is not supposed to be like that. So we need to follow nature's footprints and not produce artificial footprints like carbon footprint, this and that. So we need to have sustainable living models that give us food and that does not spoil the nature. So based on these fundamental premises, we searched for food and found these 5 grains, and I'm hoping the future generations will find some more so that human race is completely healthy. And the proof of the pudding is we made these grains served the diseased conditions like cancer, diabetes, you name it, all these BP, chronic diseases, including some acute diseases, started disappearing, because once the body is clean, many people never got cough and cold if you are maintaining these balances. And if you do not make your baby drink the animal milk and feed them the milk of plant-based milk like ragi, finger millet milk, foxtail milk, coconut milk, the kids are not falling sick at all. They don't have cough, cold also. They don't have any infections because the immunity is strong. They're able to take care of things. And the varieties of food materials that each and every place is blessed with, we are forgetting. So this is the basis of science on which my journey began. So we started creating these wonderful food materials, and which have started eliminating the diseased conditions in the body, because we have a mechanism to clean up the toxic morbid waste as it is generated on a daily basis. So the fundamental aspects of food have been covered in this food as well as the associated activities of human beings. And the driving force of removing the toxic morbid waste is work, energy. Expending the energy is the most important point. That means human body, morning sunrise to sunset, is supposed to work, expend the energy, We are not doing that. And that is the most important reason why we are all falling sick. So these important aspects have to be driven into a human mind, which have been eliminated by the modern day living. You sit, don't sweat, conveniences, all through this technology is actually driving us to be sick. So the fundamental aspects of being healthy have been forgotten. So we need to bring back all these aspects into humans' mind and make people understand that you live healthily when you follow natural principles. And this is our base and background. And you can start asking questions.
Excellent, Dr. Kadir. I think what a journey. I think the research what you have done is amazing. And we could see all the things what you are saying, it's lined in this current world. Now, my simple question is, people, Indo-Americans, right? We come from India to here. There is a lot of change in the food habits, environmental changes, and there are a lot of diseases as well. So especially we see that wherever you are, you should eat that particular food and water. So do you believe in your research, you find that, whatever, for example, you said rice, we export the rice to America and then eat. We export even the water from one state to other state and drink water. Do you see a lot of imbalances with this?
Yeah. It is the macro level imbalances, but internally, once water is water, that we agree. But then the temperature, the place, the salts, the rivers that are flowing, the terrain that the river flows, all that minute differences exist. And that micro environment has to be balanced in each and every human body there and then. So we are now normalizing everything. And in fact, all the people are drinking RO water. This RO water, which is the most unscientific thing that you can think of, So this is the problem. You put it very succinctly. So we need to grow food there.
Okay.
See, even Colorado, even today, grows brown top millet.
Oh, is it?
Is one of our, even today. Mm-hmm. But sadly, FDA writes not for human consumption.
So what will happen?
They're feeding the birds. They're feeding the birds.
Oh my God. Okay.
So what it means is that these millets can grow most of the places, varieties of these millets. And the basic structure of the millets is you have fiber associated with carbohydrate. which makes the release of glucose slowly and steadily into your bloodstream. So the fundamental thing is removed, and you have wheat, which has gluten, another protein which can spoil our gut and gut microbes. We are eating all over the world, people are eating wheat because they have made it possible for this variety to grow and then make their fertilizers to be sold and all this big hangama, I don't need to go into that.
No.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
basic food we have disturbed, hence the diseases. Instead of pointing that out, these doctors are telling there is some problem here, some problem, and trying to make outer points scratch. Oh, so I'll give you a tablet which corrects this. What about the whole system going haywire further? So this pharmacy and the food corporates are, I think, hand in glove. One now feeding the other, one feeding the other. So this is the problem we have created, a corporate problem. This is actually.
Absolutely.
So the food being corporatized is the reason why human health has been disturbed. So we need to get back to give this to the hands of the nature. So natural food is a prima facie very important, and giving back the sovereignty of the food production to the local farmers is another important transformation that happens when you choose the local foods and say no to the processed, centralized industrial food. So this is the basis on which I worked. So we have seen when the patients shift from this centralized food to local foods like foxtail millet. And believe me, foxtail millet is grown heavily in California. It was, but now it is not there. In fact, sadly, now all over the world, people have lost the seeds, because if you do not grow and make other things grow in that place, so the seeds are not there. And that's what has happened. Luckily, our ancestral tribal people have maintained some of these grains. And that's how I could regenerate, replenish, and reintroduce to the human consciousness these 5 grains.
Excellent effort, sir.
So now we have a means of becoming healthy.
Yes, absolutely.
We have actually cleaned up gangrene conditions like this. In a matter of 3 to 6 months, we could clean up many gangrene patients. That is diabetes, and then the complications of diabetes. So it's working wonderfully. When you define food right, and when you feed the right food, you have no diseased condition. So hence I now and then in my lectures keep making this statement: if your food is right, no medicine is needed. And if your food is wrong, no medicine works.
Sir, tell us, in our busy life schedules, you know how America works. Now tell us, there is also a lot of confusion, like what we need to follow. Now, when people follow you, it is very clear that there are 5 millets need to be followed. So ordinary people like us, if we listen to you, so do you think that all these 5 millets will be all the 3 times what we eat, we need to accommodate these millets, or we can eat anything else? What is your suggestion?
Yeah, you need to eat local vegetables, local fruits, local greens. All this makes whole food. Of course, by itself, these 5 grains have almost everything that the human body needs. That's a separate issue. Okay. And second thing is that you should not be eating 3 times. Okay. See, this is another.
I know. Yeah.
Not 3 times. Nowadays, doctors are telling eat every 2 to 3 hours once.
Absolutely. It is confusion for all the people.
Confusion
so
for all. Actually, your digestive system requires 7 to 8 hours to process the food from mouth to anus. Okay. So once you eat, you need to give 7 to 8 hours minimum of difference. So you eat in the morning once, you please don't eat till say 4:30 or 5 in the evening. And but we are eating morning, afternoon, evening, night, and after night. So this is the first mistake we are doing. See, we have to train our body and mind to eat twice. Okay, but the transit should be done slowly. You know, all at a sudden you cannot say I will eat twice.
Exactly.
So you have to inform people, educate people that this is the goal. You need to transit from eating 4 or 5 times or 3 times to 2 times. So I right now I will agree to people eating 3 times, but slowly and steadily you will transit to 2 times in a day, because you cannot disturb your digestive process again and again. You know, see, now we are sitting in the room. 8 people are having a discussion, a company discussion. Now, after half an hour, one more fellow wants to join. Another 3 hours, another fellow wants to join. So does the process go on properly? No. Again, you have to tell the fellow who has come late.
Right.
So the same way, digestion starts from here. So the saliva is there, it talks, and so there is no protease in our mouth. So now imagine you have eaten little protein that has to find itself, and again you eat another protein. So the whole thing doesn't make sense. So you have to give. Once you eat, you should not eat anything further for 8 to 10 hours, so that the process is complete, the end product is seen, you get the energy, you see all these various things have to happen. You have to give enough time. But then we are unscientifically disturbing it, poking it now and then, you know. So the meeting doesn't come to an end if people keep joining and keep asking, what do I do? Because they don't know what happened in the first 1 hour. And then second,
That's a nice
so you
example.
see so that is the way it is. See, you have scheduled a meeting for 8 hours. You are going to discuss from this end to that end. So people who come all at a time, then it goes very nicely and smoothly. And that's what is digestive process is. After that, there are many more meetings that have to take place in different organs. So you're going to screw up by starting the things every now and then. So this is the reason and logic why our ancestors ate in the morning when the sun rises, and then again when sun sets. That 9 hours gap they keep. And then in the night, we are not supposed to eat anyway. We are supposed to rest, give rest to everything, including only the basic bare minimum of the breathing takes place. And you are not even aware that it is happening. So these are the
night.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, being aware itself requires a lot of energy. So that also is shut off.
Absolutely.
So
now coming
that's
to
the way.
millets, sir.
Millets do these things very well. So when you eat, it releases food slowly for 8 hours. And then it keeps your body balanced. And a lot of salts are there, lot of vitamins are there, lot of phytochemicals are there. And they exclusively, distinctly differentiating these foods is the lignans, the word called lignans, which actually have got a potential PMF, which is very wide. That's how it cleans up all kinds of diseases, all parts of the bodies. So these 5, I'm hoping if I get another 10 years, I can figure out another 10 more grains. If I travel all over the world and then talk to the ancestral, maybe old age, 100-year-old people, what they were eating, get that grains. And we have figured out how to do the further research. I have laid out in my books how to look for this great food materials, the fundamental aspects. Fiber to carbohydrate ratio should be single digit. So if you divide the carbohydrate by its fiber, if you get single digit, that will be your superfood.
Wow.
So So the word superfood comes because it gives you energy, it cleans your body, and maintains the balances. And these are the characteristics of superfood and makes the whole production sustainable. So anywhere on this planet, people can grow food. In fact, these grains grow even in sand. If you just mix a little bit cocoa peat, we have done that experiment. That means Gulf countries can grow their own food if they make a little effort. So there is no need for this import and export business, and all this transport energy that we are using unnecessarily can be switched off. Absolutely. So all over the world, people can grow food, and that is possible with these millets. Africans can grow their food. We can grow our food. New Zealand can grow their food. All these 5 grains grow in this wide range of temperature and geographical conditions. And it was the case in the history. All over the world, they were eating this. In fact, foxtail millet is called Italian millet.
Mm-hmm.
And brown top millet is known as American millet.
Wow.
Himalayan millet is, yeah.
Wow. These millets can be grown in the temperature now, cold temperatures of US.
Yes.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
And German millet is barnyard millet.
Mm-hmm.
So this,
until we grow in these countries, so what would be your suggestion? How do we recognize whether it is a polished, processed millets or not?
Yeah, there is a confusion because you are so far away, moved from nature. All these questions will arise. I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There is a pearl millet, you know. Actually, there is a pearl millet. But there is a word called pearled millet. So you make the millet, remove it, polish it, and make it like a pearl. That's called pearled millet. Bajra is actually pearl millet. So you remove, dehusk, polish, all that, and make it almost useless. So we have figured out that local people can actually grow and dehusk in their own houses with a very little technology. Small mixie, you can just dehusk and then use the grain directly.
Okay. So we can get that mixer in America?
Absolutely. Okay. Any mixer that you have can be used. We have described all this and put videos how to dehusk and make food. So we have actually provided the information on the videos as well as PDF, how to cook, how to dehusk, how to grow, how to eat various dishes. Everything is there. I will actually pass on all the books, PDFs. Please share with your audience. And it is free. No patent. No copyright.
That's so kind of you, sir, because people like you.
No, that is the way nature intended.
Yeah.
So who are we to hold the information?
Absolutely. Sir, one question in North America, definitely most of the audience want to know the hair fall, right?
Yes.
Lot of hair fall in the America. So what do you
hormone imbalance? That is due to hormone imbalance. So stop eating cheese, pizza, burgers. Hormone imbalance is the thing. You can set it right if you are young enough. I mean, if you are 20, 30, you eat the right food. Especially hormone imbalance can be corrected by little millet fiber.
Little millet, okay.
Yeah, that fiber corrects your genital organs and hormone balance is. So we have a protocol for hormone imbalance. I will send you the book, protocol book. So if you follow hormone imbalance protocol, your hair comes back for young people. Of course, for 78-year-old people, hair may not come back because over a period of time, naturally hormone gets imbalanced, then you lose your hair. You know, many bald head happens like that. But for young people, that happening is not right. A 20-year-old fellow becoming bald is absolutely can be prevented and reversed. Prevented and reversed.
Thank you,
So
sir.
that we have managed to do. So follow that hormone imbalance protocol. Yeah. And we have also researched on decoctions for Indian conditions.
Mm-hmm.
So in an American setup, we need to figure out what are the plants that associate with our physiology and help us correct the imbalances. I have done that also for a little extent when I visited America last time and last before time.
Mm-hmm.
So to give you immunity and maintain balance, we have identified 8 American plant materials. That means we have done experiments.
Okay.
And that list also I will send you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
So actually in America, the most important decoction that everyone should concentrate on is pine leaves.
Pine leaves.
Very good decoction. It corrects a lot of problems for American setup, American conditions. Even if an Indian goes there and lives for 4 or 5 years, if you start consuming pine decoction, your homeostasis is maintained. You are balanced most often. And live oak, there is another plant which is available freely in American continents called live oak.
Live oak.
Quercus.
Okay.
It's called Quercus. Quercus.
Quercus. Okay.
And there is another wonderful herb called symphytum. And there is another common rue. So like this, the naturalists present in that continent should identify the herbs that help the human race. So we have, of course, in India, lot of knowledge from ancestral period. So I have actually taken that enormous knowledge and then chosen 60 or 70 herbs that can meet various conditions of the disease set up right now for modern day living. So we have tabulated, we have experimented and then made that protocol list for Indian conditions. But luckily, most of those plants are available even in American context.
Mm-hmm.
Like cilantro is universal.
Yes.
Fenugreek, it is universal. So most of these, and sour spinach, gongura antam, that is there even in America. Little varieties are present. And ficus, that is mana ravi chettu. In California, I saw whole streets decorated with ficus auriculata. There is a different variety. So like that, we can find a lot of these wonderful plant materials that can correct our imbalances.
Excellent, sir. I think some of the plants we never heard about them, but it is very, very insightful. So one more question from the Atlanta. So what are the best grains for the children and most recommended for long-term health benefits? For children, what do you suggest?
There are 10 grains now, 10 grains. Finger millet, proso millet, great millet, pearl millet. These are major millets.
Okay.
They're actually grain size a little bigger. Mota anaj in Hindi.
Yeah.
Manamu chirudhanyalu antam.
Yes.
Then minor millets. Kodo millet, foxtail millet, barnyard millet, brown top millet, little millet. These are minor millets. They're actually much smaller in size. And there are another 4,000 varieties of millets which you cannot even see the grains. They are called Chudra Dhanya because you cannot see the grains. And those 4,000 varieties are for various different living things on this planet. Because C4 grasses grow 90% of the planetary lands. No other grass grows, only this kind of grass. Rice and wheat are very restricted. Temperature is restricted. You need lot of water. You need lot of nutrients and all that. And that's how they have chosen this rice and wheat, because they can control all this in their hands. They have patented. So we need to release this. Food should be free for everyone.
Absolutely. Food
Health should
education
be,
and-
health is the right of the people. It's a fundamental right for human birth. So if you are born as a human being, you should be healthy. And that is possible. That is possible if we follow these natural principles. So we have been trying to work to define how to be healthy. And that is the Dr. Khader lifestyle. I have tried to bring out a small booklet for a common man, of course.
Okay.
What to do, what not to do.
Very
To do things, not to do things. If you follow these protocols, you will be 80 to 90% very healthy. And of course, there are many more parameters which can make us ill, sick. I don't claim I know everything, but we are trying to inch forward to be healthy.
Absolutely, sir. So all these millets which you talked about for the children, so how do they need to be served? It's the same way, because most of your videos says that 6 hours you need to soak, and then you need
Yes.
to boil it and again ferment it and then eat.
That is one way of eating which provides you the microbes
Okay.
that work together with our living cells. So I call this gut microbes as the doctor 24/7 working for you.
Excellent.
You are making a doctor inside. So he knows, that means the group of these microbes know what is required in your organs, what is deficient, what is to be fulfilled, how much amount has to be transported. All these things, they are working together with our living cells. The transporters, regulators, moderators, all these things are actually synthesized according to your needs by these microbes. Because our body, our genes are set, whereas these microbes can actually mutate themselves according to the need and provide the real thing that you need. They can change their genes fast enough because their living time is 21 days to 48 days. So they transform themselves according to the need and then make things ready for you. And that's what is called symbiotic microbes. So this arrangement God has made us beautifully available. So we need to use that. And that is the reason why we make our ambali, fermented porridge. That is one meal minimum you provide. Yeah, every day, at least 5 days a week.
Okay. So you are saying if you come to a 2 meal per day, so one should be the porridge and then the other one should be anything else, like with vegetables or anything else?
No. Along with porridge, you can eat everything.
Okay.
You can eat dal, you can eat sabji, you can eat like that. But porridge, if you eat first, then it permeates your gut, and then the first rule of being healthy, that doctor being inside, is taken care of.
Absolutely. So one more question, sir. So they were asking about kashayam, dondakaya kashayam. So they were confused whether it is a kashayam or a juice. So when you tell in your PDFs, what?
PDFs, that is in the diabetic protocol. It is IV gourd leaf. And for varicose veins protocol, we have called IV gourd juice.
Oh, okay.
So all decoctions are made from leaves.
Okay. And one more important question. You see in North America, most of the kids are being autism, right?
Yeah.
One of the question it is there any home medicine for autism kids if the level is mild or medium?
There is no, I see, everything is home medicine only. The problem is there is no medicine. Everything is home
medicine.
Home medicine. You see, because you are surrounded by various kinds of hospitals, you are using the word home medicine, but it is wrong thing. It is your kitchen that is the real hospital, real health giving place. So everything is homemade only. You got to make everything in home. Your kitchen is the real center of the attention here. So be in the kitchen and make your food and medicine, everything there only. So basically, the autism is due to various reasons, but fundamentally it is happening because the food gone wrong when the baby is being made is the first reason. And then many other reasons like vaccinations and high sugar content and various medicines and a lot of other reasons come, smoking and addictions and so many reasons. It's not one reason. Okay. So there is no one homemade medicine because it depends on various aspects. But then how do we clean up that brain system which has gone wrong? Is fundamentally we have got a protocol which encompasses all these issues, and it starts with the real millets that can clean up your brain material. So foxtail millet and like that we have identified what food to be given, and oils, the natural oils, because your brain is made of 70% of it is fat content. So a lot of this toxic morbid waste stuck there is not soluble in water. So you need to provide the oils that can actually clean up. So we have designed 3 to 4 tablespoons or teaspoons of oil to be taken first in the early morning. And that oil should be naturally processed, like bull-driven oils. So all that protocol is given in the booklet for autism, disabled kids, and mentally not functioning, mild to very serious condition. So we have seen a lot of good results in this group of people. Yeah. So please follow that protocol, and you need that bull-driven oils, which is a very difficult thing for American people to get because you are so far in the refined oils. You are out of the control.
So how do you get that, sir? So is there the only way is to be in India for some time and treat them, or is there any other way?
Practically that is one way, but there are people getting bull-driven oils in America. They're exporting. Some companies you need to find. And I think in Houston, there is a place who are doing that job. I forget some organic something. Organic. I don't.
No worries.
And in fact, you can make. In fact, there is a group called Amish people, in Lancaster. Mm-hmm. They actually make their own stuff. They have horses, which are called big horses, which used to help them to get the oils. They have the same kind of yeah. They have concocted some units. See, don't expect only India had this. I mean, many parts of the world have done these things earlier, but they have disappeared in other parts of the world. Whereas we are lucky that we are maintaining the olden methods and there are people still left because we believe in diversified things. We have not been wiped out by this modern day stuff, though a lot of things are also disappearing very fast in Indian continent also nowadays.
Absolutely, you are right, because now we are going back to the old culture, right?
Yes.
If you see, everyone is following old things.
Yes.
So it is very important at least to safeguard that.
And I think I am one of the pioneers to start this thought process that the real good things are in the forgotten materials and forgotten methods.
Sir, another one, you see a lot of food handy, right, in America, especially if you compare, you name the product, you will get it here on the store. It is very easy to take it and consume. So you see a lot of gut problems in this area, right? Urinal blood or stool blood and all those kinds of stuff. So when you see the studies in America, they adopt a complete medicine to you, everyday medicine. They say that there is no treatment. But if you see your way of treating, there is a medicine. So what is that you suggest to people? They are confused.
You see, they are damaging and then looking for a repair.
Okay.
What we are doing is establish the system doesn't get damaged. So the system becomes strong. See, what is bleeding in every part is inflammation of the blood vessels.
Okay.
They're going kaput. And once they go kaput, there is infection possibility and becomes complicated. So what if we make our blood vessels not get inflamed? So that means you're eating a food that is inflaming your blood vessels.
Okay.
So you change the food. So over a period of time, the replenishment and regeneration of the blood vessels happening becomes stronger and stronger. So you eliminate the disease permanently.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So this is the way I look at any given condition. How do we regenerate the coming cells? Because that's how the body nature is to regenerate. In fact, you are not what you are 7 years ago. That means all the cells in your body are regenerated. See, right. Human blood, every 3 months you are regenerating. The skin, within 3 weeks it comes back. Bones, 6 weeks to 6 months. Especially if you are a young boy, the bone also gets set in very fast amount of time. Of course, once you become old, your bone doesn't get set. So this regeneration and replenishment of new cells is our source of happiness. Because, okay, we have damaged. But the next thing that is being processed, if you provide the right conditions, it becomes stronger and healthy. And that's how, for me, no disease is irreversible. No disease is irreversible because, okay, even if there is a problem with genes, when the cell is remade, the gene is also going to be remade. So if you provide the right conditions, the lost setup can be replaced. Very well. So you have a diseased gene. We will replace that because when it is dead, it is gone and we can have a new one. But when we are having new one, if you provide the same conditions, that also becomes sick.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it is not that genes are holding us. It is, I can make the gene. I mean, what it is again the food. It is the same nitrogen, same thing, same you have to provide. So, and we have a room there because the gene, the cell, everything is going to be remade according to a plan. And now that plan, if you give the right materials, it will come back okay. If not in one setup, next setup, next setup. So 3-4 cycles, we should be able to correct.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Another major situation in North America, you see pollen, different kind of allergies. And whenever you go, every person will have either allergy, deficiency of D vitamin, or the deficiency of being anemic, right? Being
B12. That is because of B12.
So what is your suggestion for them?
See, what is being allergy? That means you are not able to hold the external, that is antigen,
okay,
and throw it out. Throw it out. That means your immune system is screwed up. Why is it screwed up? It's because you need vitamin B12, vitamin D, and vitamin C. So that means you are not providing vitamin B12, which is actually your gut microbes' job. So by eating milk, by eating sugar, by eating processed foods, you are eliminating the gut microbes. Oh. And that's why your vitamin B12 is out of whack. Once vitamin B12 is not there, you cannot make your blood properly. Your hemoglobin itself is out of whack. You see, the fundamental basic raw materials for you to be immune strong you are eliminating by the choices of food that you have given. So how do we strengthen that? How do we strengthen your gut microbes? By making adjustment in your porridge, fermented porridge. So you keep eating pizza and burger, you keep eliminating your microbes. You keep taking porridge, fermented porridge of different grains, you make your gut strong. This is, once you fix vitamin B12, then your blood synthesis, everything falls in place. That's what I explained to you. The new things that are coming up become stronger and stronger. Over a period of 6 cycles, you eliminate your problem.
Absolutely.
So that's
it gives a lot of confidence when you really explain. People should understand what is the logic, then everyone will be successful.
Yes.
And coming to the pandemic, right? Most of the people had a lot of disorders because of the vaccination. So heart attacks, you see a lot of heart attacks in US too, and a lot of chronic diseases as well. But number one is heart attack during the vaccination. So did you see these things during your patient visits or something? What is the solution or the remedy for people?
Again, strengthening your system. See, we want to eliminate the disease at the root cause. So once you follow the basic principles, you are strong. Nothing happens. But the vaccine is something which is very different, which requires a very long explanation. Fundamentally, I differ from the decision of this so-called major problem is no one should be vaccinated because it should be found internally. The immunity should be found internally. And I believe vaccination is a business. There is no real. Just like calcium tablet or just like fortified milk with vitamin D. How can vitamin D be absorbed from milk in your body? See, what they have been drinking fortified vitamin D milk for ages now in America and Europe. Why is vitamin D less there? So, because you the vitamin D is made in your body, under the skin, from cholesterol getting converted to calciferol. So this is, which is very vitamin D. So there are little structural differences. You call D2, D3 and all that. Finer details, don't worry. So cholesterol is becoming vitamin D, which is then stored with your own liver. And it is floating in the blood depending upon where you need, what to do. All that the body decides. But you cannot say, I will give you through milk, which is actually stuck. And then your body has to, they do not have the wherewithal to take the vitamin D. You may measure in your blood vitamin D when you take out and do a test, but it is not available for the right time and right place. That's why you see many diseases in Americans based for vitamin D deficiency. Though you check your blood, vitamin D is there. You will see a lot of people giving right number in their blood if you check, because vitamin D is there, but it is not available. Because when you do the test, it gives you the test answer. But when it is to be working in the real life thing, it is not available. It is not available. See, that is the problem with this fortified artificial supplements. To start with, it looks okay. But then over a period of time, because the body is designed to work in that particular routes, and it has to go through those routes only. And that can happen only when you follow the natural routes. So you need to provide the required things through nature. So how does nature make cholesterol to vitamin D? You go in the sun for half an hour. In northern continent, it is between 11 to 2 or something, because sunrise and sunset are not very well defined in the northern. I mean, you know the reasons. Whereas in India, The problem is not there at all, because sunrise and sunset happen almost at a set time, So you get up in the morning, you see the sunrise and then walk half an hour. Your vitamin D problem is completely eliminated. Absolutely zero problems. But then sadly, we are following this 24/7 parties, and weekend culture has come and people are not getting up. And we are finding vitamin D problem even in India now. So eliminate the disease by following the rules of the nature. So vitamin D problem is eliminated like this, and vitamin B12 is eliminated. So no one ever need to be anemic. No one ever need to be anemic. And sadly, people say they are all eating very nutritious food in America. Half of the people are anemic in America.
Yes.
They have blood. Yeah, because they're not eating the right combination of things in their food. There may be protein, there may be carbohydrate, there may be fat. But what about other things that require to make your blood synthesize or biosynthesize properly in your body? All those rules are broken, and you think you are eating nutritious food but not being healthy. This is the problem.
Absolutely. Last question.
Okay. Yeah.
Last question. Most of our guys are into IT, right? That means your eyes and your bone are damaged. So most of them will be with the eyesight, or you'll have some kind of bone problems and all this thing. What is the resolution from these millets? Do you think this will suffice the problem?
No, because you are keeping the irritant constant. So you need to change your gadgets, because the gadgets that you are looking at is origin of light. So your eyes are not designed to see the origin of light. It is not the eyesight problem. It is the nerves that are processing the irritant. So you have to see the light which is falling on something, and then you see transmitted light only we can see. That's why you can see moon however much time you want, not sun. You see the logic.
Yeah.
So now I have a light, I can see the wall, but can you see the tube light for some time? No, you cannot. But we have reduced the intensity in your TV and then the screen and the computer, but you are still seeing the origin of the light. So the industries, the so-called IT fellows, have to design their screens where they see reflected light, not the origin of the light.
There might be new invention now. That should be a
They should. Yeah, otherwise you will continue to have all the problems, because millets can correct the nerves disorders, whatever have arisen. But then again, tomorrow morning you go and do the same thing. See, you take a small pin and just make a small dent on your hand today once. Nothing happens, because the problem, it corrects. Then come tomorrow at the same time and make pinch once more. Do it for 21 days. You will have a permanent damage there.
Oh.
You are only pinching with a small pin once. Nothing. That's what you are doing by seeing the computers on a daily basis. So every day you think nothing has happened, but over a period of time, it accumulates.
Very nicely.
Whether you eat millets or no millets, you will continue to have the problem, because you are irritating your system.
That is true.
So
unknowingly, everyone are damaged.
Not unknowingly, foolishly.
But how do you see?
Now, the best answer is, if you work for 1 hour, don't look at the computer for more than 25-50 hours. That's when the system is completely repaired. Then you can afford to go and get pinched once more. are the best option they have, which I have actually suggested way back in 1991 itself, that you should have units that are having reflected light. What it means is you project your data into a reflected screen. So you need to design a gadget that way. See, cinema, you can see cinema for a long period of time because it is a reflected light. Whereas a computer screen or a smartphone screen is dangerous one. So it's not that Wi-Fi. Yeah, it is not that Wi-Fi. There are different dimensions of problems, but just looking at the screen itself is danger for you.
Point taken.
Yeah, so all the IT guys, whatever hardware, software guys should sit and make this correction. I'm not saying don't work, but work on a scientific premises.
Absolutely. And most of the people, especially in America, if you see, during those days, we think that America is a great place for, the hospitalized treatment and all those stuff. Over a period, everyone are looking for, Ayurveda, naturopathy and all those kinds of stuff. And getting a schedule of a doctor or anyone, it's becoming tough day by day. So people are believing in you, Dr. Kadir. How do you think the Americans can reach out to you being in America and getting the treatment? Is it possible remotely today, or you have to see the patient lively?
Yeah, because it's complicated. The system is so complicated. The patients are such a complicated state of disease. It's not the right thing to do on a telemedicines and all. According to me, is a wrong way to do. A doctor and patient has to meet. I mean, this is a must, first condition. So, but we are trying to help people get the basics of being healthy. And so if they start implementing, and we have seen thousands getting well, just following the lifestyle. So I'm trying to define the definition of being wherever you are, follow the natural principles. So we're trying to communicate that point. I am not actually projecting myself as a doctor who has a magic wand. It's you, by implementing the basic rules of health, bring back happiness and joy in your life. So my answer is basically, I'm not answering you completely. I'm trying to escape, but but personally, I cannot attend to. I mean, that's not going to be possible practically. And fundamentally, a doctor and patient has to meet if there has to be a productive, efficient result generated. So I don't. Yeah,
they book your appointment or time and come there? So will it be?
Yeah. Every 2 months we give appointments, and but fundamentally, I have figured out that no one needs Dr. Kadir. What they need is the information and the millets.
That's very nice. Very nice. I think we have already consumed more time, so we need more time from you. Maybe next time we will continue. And finally, what is your message on millets? How can people identify the right millets and have? With this final message, I wanted to close this wonderful session.
These 5 millets, along with the other major millets, can fulfill the food security of the countries, health of the countries, and we can reduce the global warming. We can solve many problems that we have created due to modern day living style. Mm-hmm. So we need to get out of this urbanized conditions and start living a local production, local processing, local consumption. So of course, right now, that is the ideal state. But if everyone starts eating these 5 millets all over the planet, they can be produced there, and then you can consume. you will see 50 to 80% of the hospitals will get themselves closed because you will have no sick fellows going to the hospitals. And that is my vision for future. So it is not to eliminate hospitals, it is to eliminate the sickness. That is the essence of my work, I believe. And to produce secured food and the right food, and then the rights of the farmers have to be re-established. This corporate culture, the food corporatization, is the bane of human civilization right now. So we need to get out of this food corporates, produce food locally, process locally, consume locally. Then our health is established, our nature is given time and room for its flourishing. So we need to bring back a lot of species that we have lost by changing our life and lifestyle.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the message. This is all about today's Insight with Praveen Puram with Dr. Kadarwali. I think this is very helpful and you all will definitely follow the rules and you will make your life beautiful, aligning your food habits. Be healthy, be safe. Thank you. Thank you so much.
They are not, actually, they are called sutras.
Uh-huh.
Rules has a negative connotation.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.